You're watching SKST Radio.
Well, welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Cammie, Grayson, and friends. I have a new friend. Her name is Anna Tierney. Hi, Anna. How are you? Now, Tierney, right?
Yeah, Tierney, you got it.
Yes,
just right.
Beautiful last name. I love it. I absolutely love it. So Anna is a part of a new project that Amazon put out there, and she is like one of the stars on the show, and I'm going to let her tell you about her. Anna, tell people who you are.
Hi, I'm Anna Tierney. Yes, I play Clara Morrow in Three Pines, and she's an artist. She lives in the countryside, in the woods, with her husband, who's also an artist, and she lives in the village of Three Pines, and it's where these things keep happening, these murders, these mysteries keep happening, and she's a part of that world. So we filmed it a year ago now, and now we're getting to celebrate it being out there, and it's been great hit, and we've had great feedback, and it's been a wonderful journey.
Wow. So Anna, how did you get started in the acting world?
So I think probably for me where it started was with my father. My father was an actor. He passed away sadly 8 years ago, but he was a wonderful, thank you. He was a wonderful performer and a sort of larger than life character in my life, and I think he was probably the initial inspiration, and he was someone who could really light up a room and enjoyed making people laugh and really enjoyed people and listening to people and giving them the time of day. And I think it was probably being around someone like my dad, and then having very supportive mum as well, in that, supporting me and choosing what I wanted to do. And I think that was probably the beginnings of it all.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So you're from where?
I'm from London. I was born in Manchester, but I grew up in London, and my mum's from Austria, and my dad's side was from Manchester. And now I also spend half my time in Toronto as well, because my partner is Canadian. So I have the kind of real mix of different worlds, and it's kind of special.
I love your accent. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It goes with the lady, I guess. Well, let me tell you. Okay, so now you how did you get involved in being a part of this project?
Yeah, well, it came about, I was doing a project in the UK actually called Deceit, which was on Channel 4, and I think now it's on Netflix, which is where you can watch it now. And the creator and writer of that show, Emilia De Girolamo, she reached out to me after filming, and because she knew that I was also in Canada, in Toronto for part of the time, she said, look, I'm writing this project, and it's going to be filming in Canada, and it's set in Canada, and I know that you're out there, so this is what it is. So she told me about the project and the books that it would be based on, and I was then able to kind of go away and read the novels, and I had a little bit of a kind of head start before I even got to the audition, because usually you get the tape come through and you have maybe a few days to prepare all the material and send them a tape, or, pre-COVID, we were in the room. So with this, I had a really unique experience in that I was really able to immerse myself in the world of the novels, the Three Pines novels that they're based on by Louise Penny. And I felt a real affinity for Clara and that character, which is the one that I ended up auditioning for and landing that role. So it was a really unique kind of way into it, and I feel very lucky to have had that experience.
Now, so how do you portray yourself as Clara? Are you similar in any kind of way?
I would say so. I think we're both quite intuitive. I would say that we both look for the good always in other people, and that's kind of where we lead from, and that it doesn't always work out the way that you think it will. You sort of lead positively and expect the best from people, and sometimes that can really, pull the rug out from underneath you when your expectations and hopes kind of get dashed by other people's behavior in a way. And I think that happens to Clara a lot. I would say in the past, old Anna probably had some struggles in her relationships like Clara does in hers. She's someone who at this point, it really puts other people's lives and priorities ahead of her own. So she would put her husband's feelings ahead of her own instead of, believing in herself and giving her the strength and the courage to kind of stand up for herself a bit more. But right now we're in a place where we see Clara and her husband Peter, and Peter's kind of jealousy, I think, towards Clara and her work and her kind of taking her space.
Right. Well, I tell you, I fell in love with Clara at the family gathering type thing, because that was kind of weird. And she stood by Peter's side, and I was like, oh, that's a good wife. That's a good wife. So yeah, I think she's gonna when season 2 comes out, I think she's gonna take more. This is my prediction. Hint, I haven't read the books, but I feel like she's gonna take charge of more. Because she was so quiet and so supportive of everybody else. But what about her?
Exactly.
So I see that character turning into something like huge. Don't mess with her. Eventually, it's gonna be like, leave her alone.
That's right. I see that future for Clara too. I'm glad you see that. I'm glad that that's like visible, and and they definitely go into more detail in the books, and you see maybe a lot more loving and tender moments. But I think it has to be kind of distilled and put into these much shorter moments for TV. And so right now we're seeing a lot of the friction and tension between those two. And I think as we go on, and hopefully if there's a season 2, we'll see more of the both sides of them and their strength going.
I actually have the trailer. Do you mind us looking at the trailer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's see if we can make it happen.
You look for good even in the worst of humanity, don't you?
And sometimes I find it too. Chief Inspector Gamache, why don't you walk us through what you have so far?
1 minute she's sitting in the chair, next she's dead.
And no one saw anything suspicious.
Not a thing.
She wasn't the easiest person to get along with. She was a little critical.
She seemed a little cold.
I think they all hated her, every single one of them.
Three Pines is a sanctuary, but this place has bad energy.
Each one represents a missing Indigenous girl.
Pain always finds the surface, one way or another.
Your kindness is your greatest strength.
I think I have something.
Looks like blunt force trauma. What is it with this place? We're looking at 2 dead bodies, and now there's a third hanging from a tree.
Everything's connected, one way or the other.
Buckle up, everyone. None of us is going anywhere. In my line of work, people do the most unexpected things. Most murders happen in the heat of the moment, but I promise you, the truth is going to catch up.
I hope you don't think the only thing that ever happens in Three Pines is murder.
Oh, I know there's eating.
This village is the most welcoming place on earth. If you don't belong here, Three Pines will chase you out one way or another.
This is crazy.
Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands.
My baby's gone.
Nobody's even looking for her.
Grief feels like fear, but it's not. It's love with no place to go. You need to step back. Something doesn't add up. So much going on beneath the surface. All I've got to do is find out what.
Wow.
That was cool, right?
Yeah. I haven't actually seen that particular extended trailer. Yeah, it's got so much in there.
Yeah. And so I saw you a couple of times in there. Oh, there she is. There she is. They go so fast, you know. So, and what's up for you next?
Next up, I mean, we're all hoping for a season 2 to start filming this year. So we'll see how that goes. And I've got some writing projects that I've got kind of on the go. So a project with an actor friend of mine in the UK. It'll be a comedy about some very niche hobbyists. I won't go into too much detail, but it's more uplifting than Three Pines. And yeah, I've also been working on other artistic projects. I just started a pottery business, and so you can find my art online now. I've become the artist that I was in the show.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's really
it's cool.
Wow. Okay, so tell people how they can see the show.
So you can find the show on Amazon Prime, and yeah, stream it, love it, binge it. It's all out there now, and hope everyone enjoys it.
Yeah, it's well worth it, guys. You need to see the show. I mean, I binged it in less than 2 days. It was so good. I just kept going. Get your popcorn and just relax and enjoy. Have a good ride, because it's worth it. It's really worth it. So, Anna, give people some words of wisdom. If I wanted to be an artist / actress just like you, what do I need to do?
I would say, as someone who's been doing it for a while now, I think what you notice, having been in the game, you know, over a long period of time, is that it really takes dedication, sticking at it. It doesn't always happen in the first year after leaving drama school, or the first year that you kind of put your mind to it. It's a very competitive business, and you have to surround yourself with people who believe in you. And if you need to feel that kind of support and to feel kind of lifted, I think it's important to ask people to lift you up in those moments and tell you that, you know, you need to keep going, and because it's tough, and there's so many actors out there who you know, want it just as badly as you do, and you know, nothing's ever yours until you finally get a role. And yeah, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication, and I think just turning up and having a great attitude and never expecting anything, and enjoying the work and letting go of the work. But yeah, there's no one right way to do it either. And I think the other thing I would say is be yourself as much as you can be yourself, and I think that is being more and more encouraged now as actors, and I'm really pleased to see that happening. So yeah.
Wow. So if you could tell me one fun incident that happened on the show, what incident would that be?
One fun incident. I mean, there were many. We had a really great lead actor on set in Alfred Molina. He was always fun and always kind of lifting our spirits and telling jokes, and he was amazing. He was honestly incredible to work with, and I think that really makes a huge difference for the morale on set and just kind of solidifying you as a team. One other fun thing would be that we had a duck on set for for Ruth's character. I mean, it's just, animals are lovely, aren't they? And it was really nice to have a duck on set. He was so lovely, and he quacked at all the right moments. We were like, wow, this duck is really good.
Well, the quickest lines in, you know.
He did. He was like, I'm gonna get some more lines and some more hair.
Yeah.
Like,
Affleck can do it, I can do it. That is so funny. Okay, so what about the sad moments? Have you had a sad moment on the show yet?
I mean, the show deals with some very traumatic history, but also, you know, things that people are still dealing with in the present. So there's the storyline of a missing Indigenous woman, and this is something that's still very much happening today, and it's a lived reality for many people. And there's also so much trauma in Canada's history relating to residential schools and missing and murdered Indigenous women. And you know, we had some really fantastic people who were involved in making sure that those stories were handled with care and with consideration. And, you know, those days, I think that we were dealing with a death or a funeral or something like that. I think, you know, we all really felt it as a collective, and yeah, it's very powerful. And you know, when you work on film and TV, it often moves very quickly, and there's not often a lot of space to process, I think, big emotions when they're happening. And it was really wonderful that those emotions were actually held and supported, and people were made to feel like, you know, if they needed to take a moment, or if they needed someone to talk to, if any of it was in any way triggering, which it absolutely was, there were ways for people to be able to deal with it emotionally and get through those days. And yeah, everyone really felt that. I think you couldn't not feel that on those days. Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, I just finished interviewing the ladies and the gentlemen behind the new documentary, She. And basically that's what it's all about. And when I shared with them, when I saw Three Pines and I saw the red dresses, I immediately connected the two together. You know, it's like the same mission. And you guys were able to get that out, and they, you know, that's what they're doing. They just finished a documentary, and it's all about missing women. They were saying over 300,000 women go missing a year, and then they come back as Jane Doe's, you know. And so I thought that part was so powerful, and for Three Pines to put that in there, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
And I feel like they didn't rush through it. I think in TV, you know, things often are very fast paced, and we don't have a lot of time to really process it. And I was really grateful that it really moves through at a pace where you're really allowed to feel what it's, you know, what's happening on screen, and the big things. And I appreciated that as a viewer, being able to have the time in the moment while watching it to process it and to cry and to feel all those things. And yeah, it
was great. It was great. Well, Anna, thank you so much for being on the show. I just love your accent. I cannot wait for season 2. It's going to happen. They just need to hurry up and get you guys in the studio. That's all.
It's gotta happen. It's gotta. I hope so too.
So, but if we can do anything on our end to help promote the projects that you're working on, reach out to me. I'm on Instagram. I'm all over social media. Just Google Cammie Grayson, and you'll be able to find me. And stay in touch. Stay in touch. I would love to keep up with your works and your writing and all that good stuff. So, you know, it's the new year. Let's make it a cheerful new year.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. That's really wonderful, and it's been really nice chatting with you. And yeah, I feel very grounded chatting with you. You're a very good interviewer.
Thank you. I feel the same way. You know, life is short, and if I can have a lot of friends and I can die with a smile on my face saying I met so many great people in my life, you know, that's what makes it all the special, you know. So thank you again for accepting my interview, and hopefully I'll see you again soon, because
absolutely
season 2. Three Pines. Look, Three Pines. Go see it. Season 2 coming out.
Put it out there. Put it out into the universe.
It's out there. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up. And I thank you so much for being on the show. Good luck with your projects, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, I'd love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.